Marshall County High School is located near Benton County, Kentucky. Benton is a town of around 4,400 in the southwestern part of the state, around 100 miles northwest of Nashville, Tennessee, southwest of Louisville. It serves students from all over Marshall County, which has an accumulative population of 31,000. At 7:57 a.m. on January 23, 2018, students gathered in the hall in front of their class at Marshall County High School. They did this every morning before class, talking and laughing, waiting on class to start. This morning would turn tragic. 15-year-old student, Gabriel Ross Parker, opened fire with a Ruger handgun. Prior to opening fire, Parker went to the school's band room to check that his friends were there, and not in the common area where he'd be shooting. Then he returned to the common area, where he began his deadly attack. Eyewitnesses state his eyes were lifeless, and he didn't say a word while he fired at students. After shooting, he threw down his weapon, and ran into the weight room and pretended to be just another student looking for safety. Students were unaware he was the actual shooter, so they hand-gestured for him to join them, and hide. Another student, who came from the common area when it began, noticed he was the shooter, and let the teacher know. The teacher quietly called the police to alert them. A large amount of students left his school campus to find safety, with nearby business owners attempting to help the students. Students fleeing the incidents heard screams of "get down," but many just kept running, or attempting to get the wounded from the school, and drive them to the hospital. This created confusion and chaos. Many of the students dropped what they were carrying, such as cell phones, purses, backpacks, and jumped the fences, or ran into the woods. Some ran to the technical building on the campus. 18 people were injured that day, and 2 were killed. Some of the wounded were by chaos after the firing had stopped, and 3 were critically injured. Parker was taken into custody by the Marshall County Sheriff at 8:06 a.m., just 9 minutes after he started the rampage. The mother of the suspected shooter received a call from her son that there had been a shooting, and he was scared. The realization that her son was the actual shooter made her physically ill. Bailey Nicole Holt and Preston Ryan Cope, both 15 years old, were killed that day. Holt died on the scene after calling her mother, but was unable to say anything. Cope later died at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, due to a fatal gunshot wound. Cope's parents made it to school, and bypassed first responders to be by his side before he died. Bryson Conkrite, a junior at the school, said he was talking with a friend on Tuesday morning, when he noticed the gunman walking up near him. "It took me a second to process it," Mr. Conkrite, 17, said in an interview. "One of my best friends got shot in the face, and then another one of my best friends was shot in the shoulder." He said he was part of a group of students who ran, kicked down a door to get outside and fled as quickly as they could. Governor Matt Bevin called the attack a tremendous tragedy in a statement posted on Twitter. "It is unbelievable that this would happen in a small, close-knit community like Marshall County," he said. "As there is still much unknown, I encourage people to love on each other at this time. Do not speculate, but come alongside each other, in support, and allow the facts to come out." Parker, the shooter, was Mirandized and interviewed for nearly 2 hours before he asked for a lawyer. He admitted that he planned to take his stepfather's pistol the night before, and went through the pros and cons of the act, before carrying it out. He told authorities that he was an atheist, and that life had no purpose, and those he shot, their lives had no purpose either. He also said the shooting was an experiment to see how students and society would react. Parker told investigators that he took the handgun used in the shooting from his stepfather's bedroom closet, and used a laundry basket to sneak it out of the bedroom. Parker told police he had the gun in his book bag when he went to school, pulled it out and began shooting into a commons area. Parker was arraigned in Marshall County Circuit Court on February 16, 2018. He was charged with 2 counts of murder, and 14 counts of first-degree assault. The Kentucky Court of Appeals ordered the release of previously sealed records of Parker by Marshall County Circuit Court, after his 16th birthday, since he was being tried as an adult. In March 2018, Parker's attorneys were in court to try to have the case moved back to juvenile court. The court denied the request and ordered he would be tried as an adult. In May 2019, the judge ruled the trial be moved to Christian Country, due to the publicity and sensational allegations. The trial was then scheduled for June 2020. The death penalty and life without parole were both off the table, due to Parker's age. According to Kentucky law, which states he must be eligible for parole after serving 25 years. In April 2020, Parker pled guilty to murder. Parker's mother publicly apologized to both Holtz and Cope's families for the actions of her son. On June 12 of that same year, Parker was sentenced to 2 life terms, plus 70 years, and will be eligible for parole after serving 20 years. Both Holtz and Cope's families gave victim impact statements against Parker during the trial. Marshall County Commonwealth's attorney, Dennis Faust, said the coronavirus pandemic played a role in moving toward a plea agreement for Parker. The trial was scheduled to open June 1. Faust, the lead prosecutor in the case, said the trial would likely have been pushed back to January at the earliest, and because of restrictions, he was having trouble lining up witnesses and medical experts. So at that point, some people are saying maybe it's time to get some closure, Faust said by phone Tuesday. A benefit concert at the Kentucky Opry in Benton was orchestrated to raise donations for the families of the shooting victims. 3 weeks later, another concert was also organized to raise money. The town also symbolized blue and orange ribbons and the phrase "Marshall Strong." In June 2018, wounded students were given checks from the donation campaigns. Governor Matt Bevin announced federal grants would be issued in August of 2018 to support the victims during the shooter's trial, and to assist with cost of mental health and recovery plan coordinator at the high school. Ms. Schweit helped write an FBI study, which examined active shooter episodes in the United States between 2000 and 2013. It found that nearly 1/4 of them occurred in educational settings, and they were on the rise. In the first half of the study period, officials counted 16 active shooter instances in educational settings, meaning incidents of a person actively attempting to kill people in a confined and populated area. In the second half, the number rose to 23. Anytime there's a school shooting, it's more gut-wrenching, and I think we have a tendency to react in a more visceral way, Ms. Schweit said, but I really don't think as a whole, in society, we're taking shootings more seriously than we were before, and that's wrong. School administrations across America have been putting greater emphasis on preparations for the possibility of an active shooter. According to a report issued by the Government Accountability Office in March of 2016, 19 states were requiring schools to have plans on how to deal with an active shooter. Only 12 states require schools to actually conduct drills. However, 2/3 of school districts reported that they had actually staged exercises. School safety experts stress that taking extra steps like doing drills is critical to be prepared. The Secret Service and Department of Education did a comprehensive study of school shootings from the year 1974 to 2000 and found that 93% of school shooters planned their attack in advance. And 77% of active shooters spent at least a week planning the shooting. And nearly all mass shooters made some threatening or deeply concerning remarks to friends or relatives. Guns used in these attacks, 68% of the time, were taken from a parent or relative from their home. In nearly every case, there were clear warning signs. How can we, as a society, stop these heinous acts? Parents should have open communication with their children, and be actively involved with what is going on in their lives. Look for signs of depression, or change in behavior. Ask questions, and listen. Be proactive. If you see warning signs, talk to someone who can help. Talk to your children about the effects of bullying, and if they are being bullied, to talk to you and report it. The school counselor is a good resource to utilize. If someone you know is being bullied, help is just a phone call away. Please call 1-800-273-8255. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share.